segment. We'll start with the Week 12 preview. We'll have 16 big games this week. We'll start Thursday morning, Bills at Lions. I think I like Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and Gabe Davis here. I'm not sure what Detroit is going to try to take away, though. Just like we talked about earlier, they tried to take away Saquon Barkley. So what are they going to concentrate on taking away?
Take away Stephon Diggs.
Will they key the passing game and let the running backs go wild? Or are they going to, double team Diggs? I mean, they're going to have something. Spy Allen, I don't know. For the Lions, God, I hope Jeff Goff can do something awesome. I'm hoping DeAndre Swift finally breaks out, that they've kind of been keeping him under wraps for this, because this would be the type of game indoors on the carpet against there's no tape on Swift basically for the past 3 weeks, nothing since the beginning of the season. How are they going to game plan it? I expect Williams, Swift, and Amon-Ra to all do fairly well. Fingers crossed for a Swift blow up.
Okay, so you're taking Swift as your bust out?
Yep, I'll take Swift as my bust out. I'm going to take the Bills in this. I just don't think I can bet against the possibility of Josh Allen. I'll take Stephon Diggs as my busted. I think they're going to do something to take him away.
Okay, Tobin.
I too am going to go with the Bills. I think this is going to be a shootout. I mean, the Lions have proven they can score some points. They just can't stop anybody. My bust out, I'm going to go with Singletary because I do think they're going to key on the passing game. So I think Singletary and Cook will probably have a good game too. As we saw, they found a way to balance that last week. But I'm going to go Singletary. And then for my busted, I'm going to go the other way with you, Tommy. I'm going to go with Swift as my busted.
It's possible. It's a gamble.
I don't know if he's back 100% yet. And I think that's the challenge, especially on a short week.
He still recovered from his fall last week on Thanksgiving Day where he got injured, missed the rest of the season, and still has not recovered at all. For me, I'm taking the Lions.
Rawr.
Playing at home, coming off 2 wins on the road, healthy offensively, and that offensive line can control the game by themselves. I have my bust out player being Golf, but I wouldn't be that surprised to see Jamal Williams go off again and get 60 or 70 yards with 2 touchdowns, which is what they want to do to be able to keep the Bills off the field. I have Diggs as my busted player, because I think they're going to try taking him away and do run blitzes in order to be able to keep Josh Allen in the box. I think everything's pointing upwards for the Lions at this point in time, and everything's pointing sideways for the Bills. I mean, they start off really well, but they haven't really done a whole lot the last few weeks.
Yeah, watch early here. One of the things that is a trademark of this early game is in the first half, usually the first quarter, the Lions have a bomb to a wide receiver that goes for a touchdown, 60, 70 yards.
That would be awesome.
Throw it downfield. So, I mean, that could be what happens.
See, and I think the Lions are getting back to the offense they had the first 4 or 5 games of the season before injuries, that type of stuff took place. Tobin, Cowboys at the Giants at the Cowboys.
I can't go away from the Cowboys at home here on Turkey Day. I mean, I'm going to be hearing John Madden in my head.
Unless Leon Lett's playing.
Well, yeah, I don't think we're going to have an ice bowl inside the dome, so I think we're good. So I've got the Cowboys. I've got Pollard. And I'll tell you what, they have found the weapon of the future there in Dallas. I mean, he is. Well, I mean, Dak's looked good coming back, but Zeke is biding his time and going to be looking for a new home next week, next week, whatever.
He's going to become a Arizona Cardinal next year. What's
going to be interesting to me is to see if they can find a way to balance those guys out a little bit and use both sides of that two-headed monster through the rest of the season. Because if they do, that's going to be scary with that defense.
Each one of them had 2 touchdowns.
So I've got Pollard busted out. I've got Danny Dimes. I think number 11's going to
run for his life.
Yeah, I don't know what the conversion rate is on 11 for 10, but I think Dimes is going down.
Okay. I too have the Cowboys. I don't see there's any way the Giants, coming off that performance they gave last week, will be anything like what they were 2 weeks ago when they actually looked good. My bust out is going to be Dak. I think Dak, this is the game he throws for 3 to 4 touchdowns and over 300 yards, probably to Pollard. Pollard looks really good, and Dak's, healthy finally. Zeke is is back and looked pretty good, but I think Zeke's on his way out there. I think this week number 11 meets number 11 quite a few times, and Micah Parsons is the winner in that combat on that combat. I'm taking Danny Dimes for my busted player of the week as well, Tobin.
Nice.
Thomas?
Yeah, I said, remember the last game? It was a Monday night game. It was Cooper Rush beating the Giants. So I'm expecting Dak, CD, Pollard, Schultz, probably Zeke, the D, Mar, all of them are must starts. This is going to be a boat race. I do like Saquon only because as of today, as we record this, 3 of the defensive linemen are out of practice with an illness. There's a flu going around the Dallas locker room. So most of it is all on the defensive side. I don't know of anybody on offense that has it. It's a linebacker, a defensive back, and 3 defensive linemen that have it. So
it's called a rest day, Tommy.
I like.
Yeah, but who's playing on Sunday? It might matter. On Thursday,
it's
dehydration kicks in.
I'm going to say Saquon is still playable,
but they'll be well rested.
I'm going with the Cowboys. Danny Dimes is my busted, and I'm going to go.
Game coming for Danny Dimes.
I am going to go with. I think I'm going to go with CD. I'm going to think he has another big game here. I think they're going to key on Pollard and trying to shut down the running game, and Dak's going to throw it over the top.
450 and 5 for Dimes now that we've all cursed him.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to have a career game.
No chance.
He's going to
no chance he throws 5 touchdowns.
You forgot he's going to throw for 3 and rush for 2 and have 140 yards rushing. Okay, next game, Patriots at the Vikings.
This one's going to be interesting.
You know, I took the Vikings with a huge, oh my God, do I have to? The Patriots always have something special. The Patriots have, is there a more untalented team in the NFL than what the Patriots are?
Oh, for sure.
Not many.
The Texans,
the Raiders,
the Broncos.
Yeah, but there's not many. And they have a winning record in the playoff hunt with the team that you look at and you go, well, he couldn't start for that team. He couldn't start for this team. He couldn't start. I mean, literally, there's probably 8 to 9 players that would start on other teams.
I mean, they do have the sack leader, Matthew Judon.
Exactly. But they don't have a whole lot more, especially on offense.
Ramondre
Stevenson's the only offensive weapon they've got.
Their offensive line's all pretty good. David Andrews is a monster.
And then you also have the Kirk Cousins factor. So I took the Vikings because they're playing at home, and I think that they're going to have a rebound game. Justin Jefferson is my bust-out player. I think this is the week that he gets another 150 yards and has 8 150-yard touch games in his career. And my busted is going to be Mac Jones. I think that the Vikings defense finds a way to put pressure on him, and or takes away Stevenson where he has to win the game and he just can't. Tom?
Yeah. This is a primetime game, is it not?
Yes. That's why I'm worried about Cousins factor.
Yep. Captain Kirk is terrible in primetime. He gets another standalone game. It's against Bill Belichick. Good luck. I'm thinking it's low scoring. You have to start Justin Jefferson, Cook, Hawkinson. For the Pats, you have to start Stevenson. And you better start that defense. My bust out's going to be the Patriots defense. I think they're going to totally befuddle Cousins. Also, Christian Darrisaw, the left tackle for the Vikings, is out with a concussion. He will not be back this week, probably next week. That is not going to be good because Micah Parsons sat on Kirk Cousins' head 3 times, I believe.
Literally once.
Nick Folk might be startable here, but my busted is going to be Captain Kirk. And I'm expecting 16-10.
And who's going to win it?
Patriots.
Okay. Tobin.
I too hated having to pick on this. I just finally made my pick on that. I mean, it's a coin flip. I feel like the Vikings, after getting their butts just handed to them last week at home, another game at home, I think they're going to do just enough to squeak by on this. I think it's 17-16. It's 14-13. It's ugly because I think the Pats are going to mud it up. But I've got Cook as my bust out. I think he's going to be able to catch the ball. I think there's going to be a lot of focus, obviously, on trying to get the pass rush and take away Jefferson. So I was a toss up there between Cook and Hawkinson, but I think Cook out of the backfield on those swings, on those checkdowns might be where they can expose the Pats. My busted, I'm going to go with Mac Jones. I mean, he's a game manager. He's doesn't do anything sexy. And when you're putting up 13 points or 10 points, yeah, it's hard to say your QB's doing a whole lot.
One of the things that they talked about today was at least the Vikings had ran for 72, 76 yards, something like that against Dallas. Well, you already had your left tackle out. Why didn't you just keep running it?
Shorten the game, if nothing else.
So a lot of it might have been
Good
garbage
God.
time runs too.
Well, I mean, a lot of it was while the
Just get
game
the
was
hell out
fairly
of here.
competitive. It was just that they would go away from it because it's like, oh, okay, we're in 3rd and 6. Let's throw it.
Mhm.
You know, we've moved the ball on the ground, but we're 3rd and 6. Let's throw it. Oh, our left tackle's out. Micah Parsons is now dancing on your quarterback, or Dexter Lawrence.
Yep. Next game, Packers at the Eagles, Tom.
This is the Sunday night game. It's in Philadelphia. They brought in Linval Joseph and then Ndamukong Suh to stop the run, and that didn't work very well.
They weren't in game shape yet.
So what makes you think they can stop Aaron Jones? I mean, I think he'll do okay, but I do not like Rodgers' young, okay wide receivers to beat the Eagles' corners. That's the Eagles' strength is at corner. If Ryan Tannehill can make the Packers look crappy, what's Hurts going to do? I like him, AJ, and Devonta. I'm going to take Hurts as my bust out. I'm going to take the Eagles. And I'm going to say Rodgers is the busted.
Tobin.
Yeah, I've got the Eagles circled over here. You know, they took the loss. They kind of laid an egg in Indy. I look for them to kind of right the ship here. And I think this officially puts the stake in the Packers. I think they're officially done after this one. I've got Devontae Smith as my breakout. I think he could have gone A.J. Brown. I think you go Sanders. There's a lot of options there, but I'm going to go with Smith. And my busted's going to be Lazard. I mean, you can just take your pick of that wide receiver room. I mean, other than Christian Watson, who only catches touchdowns. But I think a few of the Eagles, you key on him a little bit, take that away. And they don't have anybody else that can win a matchup. So I've got the Eagles here.
I have the Eagles to win the game. When I was going through the game, trying to figure out, what's going to take place, I looked at the game, and I don't think there's a Packer in my mind that you can feel comfortable starting this week. You're going to argue and say you can start Jones, but I don't feel comfortable starting Jones. If I have to, he'd be an RB2 for me. Maybe a flex at best if I had him on any teams. Because the Eagles, they picked up 2 people who can stuff the rush. They didn't last week, but they can. And with their cornerbacks, they're going to take the passing game away, which takes A-Rod out of the game, basically. So I'm looking at this game going, the only thing I can think of is Eagles to win. I'm taking Brown to have a bounce-back game and have a touchdown on 100 yards as my bust out. And my busted is going to be Aaron Rodgers because, let's be real, him and Ndamukong Suh have such a nice relationship over the years, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Ndamukong Suh is going to do everything he can to make sure that he ends Aaron Rodgers' season at this point in time.
That'd be awesome.
There are multiple articles out there talking about A-Rod being done if the Packers win this game this season, then putting Jordan Love in to find out what they got. That way they can decide what they're going to do with him for his 5th-year option, where they want to extend him going past that when A-Rod is done either this year or next year. Okay, next game up, Tobin, Steelers at the Colts.
I've got the Steelers winning this one on the road. I feel like I'm bucking. I haven't even looked at the number on that one, but I think the Steelers are starting to cut their teeth a little bit offensively. Pickett's starting to make a connection with Pickens and Freiermuth, and Najee had a sighting. Their O-line's still terrible.
Horrible.
But their offense is starting to show signs of life. I feel like the Colts just don't excite me. Saturday on a Monday, I don't know if that translates. So I'm going to go with Freiermuth as the bust out. He's going to get 8-10 targets, and he's a big target in the end zone. I think he's going to learn. Hopefully Pickett learns the Big Ben method of, hey, find your big tight ends down there when it's crunch time. My busted's going to be Ryan. I think he literally might be busted if TJ gets a hold of him. And I want to see TJ and Ryan run a race for Ryan's life because I think Ryan's going to lose.
He will definitely lose that foot race.
100%.
That's like us running against a high school kid.
Pretty much.
We're all three dead. Well, I'm going the opposite. I'm taking the Colts to win this game. It's at Indianapolis, and the Colts have looked pretty decent underneath Saturday.
How did this get to be a Monday night game?
Because when they put the schedule together, it appeared to be a good game.
Because they loaded up all the Thursday games or what?
Yeah,
Well, it's Pittsburgh. It's
a draw.
and Dallas.
That's true. They
national draws,
and they travel well too.
yeah. I'm taking Matt Ryan as my bust out player of the game. I think he's going to throw for over 302. Matt Ryan hasn't looked bad the last 2 weeks. He hasn't looked great, but he hasn't looked bad either. And if they can keep TJ Watt from setting on his head a few times, as Tommy puts it, he should be able to sit back there and pick him apart defensively, because that Steelers secondary ain't exactly good.
Mm-mm.
And my busted player of the week is Kenny Pickett. I think they're going to do everything they can to confuse him. He's going to throw at least one interception and have a tough game. Thomas?
I'm really excited for this game, actually. I think the Steelers offense is coming around. If Hurts can run around, I think Pickett might be able to be about half as good as Hurts was. I don't like Matt Ryan trying to get away from TJ Watt. I think the Colts will have to run a ton, which they've done under Saturday, on a Sunday and a Monday now.
It's getting really confusing.
You're getting what day is it?
And if Samaje Perine can tear up the Steelers, JT's going to smash. Pickens, Najee, Pittman, they're probably all solid plays. I'm going to go with JT again as my bust out. I think they'll give him 30 carries.
How many people are shocked by him choosing JT as a bust out?
Every damn week. How'd that work out for you in that Scott Fish Bowl?
It's terrible, because until the past 2 weeks, he hadn't done SH-T.
Sorry, didn't mean to dig up the pass there, bro.
No, it's cool.
So who's your busted?
My busted is going to be Matt Ryan. He can't avoid TJ Watt.
There's going to be a meeting.
I don't think anybody can avoid TJ Watt when he wants to get to you.
He cannot get away from him. He's going to try, but there is going to definitely be a strip sack, and I just don't. They're going to have to just turn it over to JT.
Remind me to put some stripper music on the board for next week.
Exactly.
I will. I'm going to take the Colts, but I don't feel real good about it.
Okay. Well, the next game on the list here is the Bengals at the Titans. I'm taking the Titans because it's at Tennessee, outdoor, on grass, outdoor on turf. We can't match them speed-wise.
How'd that work out being at home outdoors in the playoffs for you?
Well, it worked really well defensively. Offensively, we were somewhat limited by Tannehill's inability to find the right jersey.
Some things never change.
Good possibility. So I'm taking the Titans to win. I think that the way the Titans win the game is by ball control. Henry's going to touch the ball probably 27 to 30 times, either through screen passes, wheel routes, or rushes. So I have Henry as my bust out player of the week. My busted, I have Mixon here. If it's not Mixon, it's going to be P. Ryan. As the running game for the Bengals is going to be limited, because Tennessee's defense crushes the run.
Mm-hmm.
And because they crush the run, and our secondary is
questionable at best.
Well, if they're healthy, they're good.
They aren't healthy.
The question is, are we going to be healthy or not? The other question we have is Jamar Chase going to play? If Jamar Chase plays, it changes the projection of how well Tennessee's going to do offensively, because now Jamar Chase can stretch the field and make them expose the weaknesses, which is in the secondary. But I'm still taking the Titans, Henry, and the Bengals running back, whoever it may be it
Mixon or
P. Ryan. Thomas?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Titans here. The Bengals have to have Mixon and or Chase to be competitive in this one. There's no answer for King Henry. He's the bust out. If Treylon can keep it up, he can easily duplicate what Pickens did.
Mm-hmm.
The Bengals have to get that run-pass combo going, or they're going to sack Burrow 7 times again.
It was 9 times last time.
Okay. At least 7 times.
I'll take that.
They're going to kill. They're going to kill him if all they do is drop back. We did talk earlier about Jamar Chase is allegedly off crutches, but he hasn't practiced yet this week, so we have no idea what he's going to do.
We'll find out tomorrow whether he's limited or not.
We're talking about practice.
Yes.
Not a game. We talking about practice.
Yeah.
I know it's.
So my busted will be also. I'll go ahead and take Samaje P. Ryan. He's got to be the one that gets busted here.
Okay, Tobin. Please
I think.
Please pick the Bengals.
Yeah, sorry.
The kiss of death is coming, isn't it?
The Bengals are just too banged up. Their O-line's terrible. Their wideouts just coming off crutches. Their running back, is in CTE protocol. I mean, concussion protocol. Yeah, there's not enough weapons there, and Burrow's going to be burrowing for his life, I think. I've got my bust out. It's going to be King Henry. I don't think the Bengals have a chance to stop him. My busted's going to be Tannehill. I think the recipe, kind of like what you guys have alluded to, the recipe for them to win this game is going to be to pound the hell out of them and run that ball. I don't think, I mean, Tannehill may have a couple on play action, but I don't think he's going to throw the ball enough to really be anything spectacular. If they're going to win this, it's going to be King Henry and that running game carrying them. So,
okay, Tom, Chargers at the Cardinals.
Oh, I'm taking the Chargers here. I don't know that Kyler is going to come back. I love this game if it is Herbert versus Kyler, because then it should be fun and entertaining, should be high scoring. But after Mike Williams re-injures himself, it's not going to be as exciting. Eckler and Allen should still do okay. D-Hop is D-Hop. Connor is going to be Connor. I mean, Marquise Brown hopefully comes back. Apparently he was almost ready. The video I saw of him at practice, he looked damn ready to me, but he didn't play. I took the Chargers. My bust out, I'm going to stick with D-Hop. He's going to be the best fantasy player in this game. My busted, gosh, that's tough. I guess give me Keenan Allen. I just don't think he's as explosive as he needs to be, and Joshua Palmer is.
Okay, Tobin.
I've got the Chargers here. I think, they had that near miss in division against the Chiefs. Cardinals defense is terrible. I think Herbert's got my bust out. He looked good this week. I mean, something about Pat just elevates him and his game, and hopefully I think that's got him back on track. And he's fine. I think he looked healthy finally this week. So I've got Herbert as the bust out. And then I've got the Cardinals QB room as my busted. Whether it's Colt or Kyler or whoever the hell else they bring in this week.
Well, so Kyler, they thought he might be ready, but they wanted to hold him out because of the field, the altitude, all that type of stuff. They wanted to give him one more week. Colt is banged up. He got banged up in the game.
He got thumped.
And so it may be Trace McSorley. If it's Trace McSorley, come on, man.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, the whole damn QB room.
Yep. Well, I'm taking the Cardinals.
Trying to make up some ground.
Well, I have mine written way before you guys write yours down.
But I can see how you're doing this. You're like going for the long shots now,
I think the Cardinals with Murray back are going to be better offensive than what they were this last week. I think that they held players out simply because it was on a bad field, at altitude, on a grass that sucks. That's a soccer field.
Well, it started raining before, and you're right. I think the key thing, and it's the thing we need to look at for the England and the Germany games, they're playing on soccer fields.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones that they're going to play on grass, the pitch is not the same. It's not ready for 300-pound dudes in cleats tearing it up.
The only one that is Wembley, because they use Wembley for everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a durable grass. Tottenham's not. Germany's not. Mexico, they had problems growing grass in that field under good circumstances.
A couple years ago, it was horrible.
It's 7,000 feet.
And so I'm taking the Cardinals because I think that they're going to, believe it or not, put the pieces together this week. I took D-Hop as my bust out. I can't think of a more explosive offensive player on either team to have this week.
Cardinals are 1-5 at home, you realize.
Yep.
It's crazy.
They're playing on a good field, at home, plenty of rest now. My bust is going to be the Chargers wide receiver room.
I don't know. Joshua Palmer looked pretty damn good this week.
Palmer looked good. Allen looked good, but, Herbert's he hasn't looked. He's got good numbers, but he hasn't looked right since the Chiefs game, the first game of the season.
I don't know. He looked pretty damn good Sunday night.
He didn't look good moving around the pocket. He looked labored still moving around the pocket, like he was having some issues with that rib cartilage still. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll be wrong again tomorrow. It's not that big of a deal. When I get home, my wife will tell me I'm wrong again.
I was going to say, go early and often, huh?
Exactly. I'm always wrong. Tobin, Ravens at the Jags.
I've got the Ravens circled here. This game's got the potential to be another turd in the punch bowl. The Ravens are turning into the Ravens of old. I mean, it's got to be the D and win those grind them out games.
They've got to find some backfield help. They need to be
They're
healthy
just
badly.
cursed. They're cursed. I mean, that backfield has been cursed as long as I can remember.
2 years ago, Dobbins looked great.
Well, for a minute until he blew something
blew
out.
his knee out last year and hasn't looked the same since. He's supposed to be back sometime soon.
The curse kind of, yeah, well.
We'll see.
We know.
Jamal Lewis in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Jamal Lewis and Priest Holmes.
Right. So I've got the Ravens D actually as my bust out. I think, they're just.
Boy, the speed on that team looks incredible.
Speed kills, and they match up really well with the speed that the Jags try and put out there too. And I think that's going to make it difficult for the ATNs of the world and the Kirks of the world. But I've got Trevor Lawrence as my busted.
Okay. Well, I'm taking the Jags. I think the Jags at home, coming off a bye week, and the Jags have looked decent the last few weeks before that. I mean, they're actually looking like they're running into a football team that's got pieces in place that are going forward.
Well, they should. They've got all those high draft picks.
Yep. And they've
Lining
kept
up
them all,
there.
unlike the Raiders who've cut all theirs.
Yeah.
I'm taking Lawrence to be my bust-out player of the week. I think him and ATN are going to have 4 or 5 routes where he runs. It's going to be 20+ for ATN. Whether it be catch plus yards after the catch or just the catch itself. Kirk looked great 2 weeks ago. I need to talk to Nick about trading him to me again, because every time I talk about trading to him, Kirk goes off. My bust is going to be Lamar Jackson, simply because I think they have the speed on defense to keep him in the place. And Nick, give me another offensive. Who's their other offensive weapon besides Mandrews?
Well, we talked about a couple of them. I mean, they're not, but
They've
they're
got
not.
one, and that's it.
They're not monsters. I mean, they're solid players.
They've got a 22 rather than a 357 as a weapon. No, on the outside.
It's pretty deep right there.
Thomas?
Yeah, I like the Ravens here. I'm excited to see if Spicoli's ready to take the next step, especially coming off a bye. Hopefully they're ready for Lamar and his crew. I think Kirk and ETN will be okay. Spicoli too. But I think Lamar, Mandrews, those guys are just too good. I am curious to see whether it's going to be Robinson again or Duvernay, but one of those guys is going to go off. I'm going to go ahead and project that it's going to be Robinson as the bust out again. The Jags just, for whatever reason, don't defend the pass well.
They get up to the pass. They're so good though right now.
And my busted, I'm going to take ETN as my busted. I think he could get a late touchdown. Roquan Smith is just a difference maker.
He is. The speed that he gave them at linebacker with Patrick Queen.
Man.
That's the Ravens defense of old there. Except their cornerbacks are injured. As always.
Yeah.
Okay, next game. Saints at the 49ers. I'm taking the 49ers.
You missed one.
Oh, I did? Okay. Yep, I did. The Falcons at the Commodes. I'm going to come back to that one and let you cover that one. So I try to always let you have your favorite team.
Okay. Big game here. We got to have this win. And then we can, if we win next week against the Giants and then have our bye and then win again game after that, we flip flop with the Giants.
That's a lot of ifs.
That's a
Ands
bunch
and
of
buts.
ifs, and that's how we live in the Commanders.
If your aunt had balls, should be what?
Your uncle.
It'd be Dan. I like Gibson and McLaurin here. Maybe Samuel. I think the Falcons will be semi-competitive, but the thing that we do best is stop the run, and that's the only thing keeping them alive. It's the Commanders to win here. Gibson's going to be my bust out, and I'll go Cordero Patterson as my busted.
Okay, Tobin.
Yeah, I've got the Commanders here. This one's a turd in a punch bowl waiting to happen too. I've got Gibson. I think just the combo he's getting those receptions. Robinson runs hard. I like the way that kid runs.
He'll be great next year.
Yeah. Fully healthy. Yeah, not with 4 bullet holes still mending. But Gibson's just he's getting all those that in the PPR leagues especially. He's still there. So I've got him as my bust out. And I've got London as my busted. I mean, Pitts is on IR. Commanders take away the run pretty well. They've basically got one weapon on the outside, and it's London. So how do you not key on him and shut him down? And he's shown no signs of being that dude that's just going to go. He doesn't care.
Oh, by the way, Chase Young is active.
That was going to be my next point. Is Chase Young's back, which means Mariota gets his head on a couple of times.
Oh. So yeah, I've got the Commanders. Gibson, London's my bust.
I've got the Commanders too. You're screwed, bud.
Oh,
You're
no.
screwed.
There goes those ifs and buts.
Yeah.
Nope. It's not on carpet. It's outdoors.
Commanders look. If they had a quarterback who's competent, that'd be in a serious contention for division title.
Oh,
which
yeah.
surprises the living poo out of me. Remember what I thought they were going to be this year.
Yeah, I mean, if we had, well, we need the coaching staff to go with him, but I mean, a Trevor Lawrence, even a Jeff Goff. I mean,
hold on, it's Jared.
What? Since
Nothing.
when?
I finally got it right this year, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're right.
My bust out's going to be Robinson. I think he's gonna probably run for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's possible.
He does that. That's a bust out player.
Mm-hmm.
My bust is going to be Mariota, who's going to be running for his life. He tried to keep his head from being set on multiple times by Chase Young. The Commanders' defense becomes the Commanders' defense that they were 2 years ago at this point in time, where they basically carried them, and should be really good.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if your corners and your linebackers suck.
You
If,
get 1.5 seconds to throw the
if
ball,
three of the 4 defensive linemen are in the backfield,
and you have no offensive weapons to throw the ball to.
and the ball's not out. Uh-oh.
Yep, that was my head he set on.
Yep.
Okay, next game, Saints at the 49ers. I'm taking the 49ers.
No.
I know, shocker, isn't it? 49ers are going to just physically impose their will on the Saints. This is going to be an ugly game like Monday Night was, only worse because I think they're going to punish the Saints on the offensive line. I think the Saints, their strong points the defense, and even though they're physical, they're not as near as physical as what the 49ers are, and I think the 49ers are just going to just control everything offensively, physically, defensively, physically. Jimmy G looked great this last week. He's going to be my bust-out player of the week, just like he would have been the bust-out player this past week if I would have chosen him. I mean, he's who my option was when I looked at the game, who I thought was a bust-out player was Jimmy G. 4 touchdown passes. Didn't make any mistakes. Did everything like he was supposed to. My bust is going to be whoever starts at quarterback or plays quarterback for the Saints. If I have the 49ers defense, I'm definitely starting them because there's going to be at least 1 pick 6 thrown by Dalton or whoever the quarterback is this week. Thomas?
Yeah, you got to go the 49ers here. After the game on Monday night on SportsCenter, Ryan Clark drew up a bunch of stuff where they're showing everybody they're running right, but then the left guard and the left tackle pull out and they run back on the backside. And you've got a 340-pound Trent Williams out there pancaking safeties, which is scary.
Mm-hmm.
That same thing is going to happen again to the Saints. We're taking the 49ers. I'm going to go with CMC. When he plays in Northern California, he's going to get the ball. He's going to score. He did it at Stanford. He's going to do it again here. My busted, I'll go with Dalton too as my busted. He is going to make a critical mistake. I think you can still play Kamara. You have to play Olave if you have him. And Juwan Johnson is a must start for tight end right now.
Tobin.
Going back to what Tommy said there about Trent Williams pulling out there, folks, if you want to get an idea what that feels and looks like, the next time it snows, go out on the road when that snow plow's coming towards you and take it on and try and get past that to make a tackle. Cause that's kind of the equivalent. Yeah, I've got the Niners here. And it's just too much. So I think the Saints are going to struggle on grass. That slows Kamara down just a little bit. But I've got CMC. I mean, until somebody proves they can stop him, you can't guard him no matter where they put him. You just can't guard the guy.
The only way CMC is not effective is if they do just like they did Monday night and they boat race and then they pull him out because why risk him?
Yeah. I mean, he's eating Twinkies at halftime.
Exactly.
My busted's going to be Dalton. That defensive front for the Niners is starting to get healthy and starting to come together a little bit. And Dalton he's slow getting rid of the ball already. Yeah. It's
scary. Okay. Raiders at the Seahawks. Tobin?
I've got the Seahawks winning this one at home. Raiders just don't excite me at all that they can do anything home or away, frankly. But they're 1-5 on the road, and that 12th man is legit in Seattle. I've got DK for my bust out, just because he's the man. I mean, he's a beast, and he is what some of these other teams are looking for in that wide receiver who he doesn't care. He's going to go get the damn ball and take it.
Good luck stopping him. You don't have anybody.
You double team, that's fine. He don't care.
He's as big as your linebacker.
He's going to get his. So I've got DK as the bust out, and I've got Carr as the busted. I just am not convinced he's the answer. I think they want him out of Vegas.
This is his last year in Vegas.
Yeah. So I think you're going to see a downward trend from him is my prediction for the rest of the season.
Okay, well, I too am taking the Seahawks. Going into the season, I thought the Seahawks were probably one of the least talented teams in NFL. But for some reason, they had one hell of a draft. They've got the Legion of Boom 2 coming back to play, and that defensive backfield there, pretty good. And I think the only weapon that the Raiders really have passing wise is Adams, and they can't take him away, but they can limit his production or just give him his and call it good.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's going to have to be.
Yeah, we'll give you 9 catches for 90 yards. We're going to try keeping you out of the end zone. 9 catches, 90 yards doesn't kill us. 9 catches for 142 yards and 2 touchdowns kills us. My bust out player is going to be Kenneth Walker. The way they do that is they control the ball. He's looked really good offensively when he's able to play. My busted player of the week is Carr. I think Carr he looked good last week, but that's the only week he's actually looked good. And this is his last year in Las Vegas. I don't think there's any doubt about that. McDaniels is going to be there for a while.
Maybe.
They're going to find the quarterback they want, and they're going to go forward, and it's not going to be Carr next year. Tom?
This is a great test for the Seahawks to really see where they're at. This is a game they should win. A win here, they need it to keep pace with the 49ers. DK and Lockett are both going to torch the Raiders, and Walker is going to be my bust out too. There's no way the Raiders can stop him, and he's great on turf. Geno's going to be a top 10 quarterback. Like you said, you know the deal. You're going to get Devontae. You're going to get Josh Jacobs. Foster Moreau's all they got at tight end because Darren Waller is a piece of crap.
Finally bought in.
Yeah, I mean, well, because he hasn't played for 6 weeks because of a hamstring. Really? Come on, dude.
Mm-hmm. Brian Robinson got shot 4 times.
Keenan Allen 2.0.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll take Carr, I guess, as my busted.
Way to follow the train. No peer pressure there, was there?
It's just because you expect him. He's probably going to throw for 120 yards and 8 catches to Devontae with a touchdown. But he'll finish with 250 yards and 2 touchdowns. And one of them will be to Amir Abdullah. I mean,
they haven't got anybody else but Adams on the offense to pass the ball to.
Come on, man. Mac Hollins is over there. What are you talking about?
Well,
Mac who?
Exactly.
Right.
Okay. Rams at the Chiefs. Tobin?
Boy, this is hard.
Chiefs by a million. By a million. I don't know what that number has grown to now with the QB situation there, but Chiefs by a million, 14.5. Wow, that's
not enough.
That's a big number with it over under only being 44. They're thinking this might be 40-7.
Yeah,
is what they're thinking on
They got to score defensive touchdown. You said.
Probably.
Okay.
That's the only. I mean, Aaron Donald might make a pick, a scoop and score or something to get him on the board.
He's going to pick up Mahomes coming in the end zone.
Poor guy's got to do it all. I've got the Chiefs by a million. I think Pat's going to be the bust out just because, I mean, it's going to be just pick your poison. He's got too many weapons. Even with the injuries they're seeing in the wide receiver room, there's too much speed all over the field. The only way this isn't by a million is if the Chiefs somehow fall into this trap of, let's just start running the ball on 1st and 2nd and 3rd down and run. Let's get away from our creativity.
We want to get out of here health-wise. We're going to beat them 14.
Well, put it away before you do that.
14 points will be enough.
That's my ask. No, 14.5, please, for us degenerates. My busted is the entire QB room for the Rams. I don't care who it is.
Okay. Well, my busted is going to be any Ram.
Now, that's a little broad. I don't know if we can allow that, Tommy. We're going to need a ruling here.
No. Aaron Donald is not going to be busted.
The defense is going to give up points even with Aaron Donald there. I mean, name me a Ram you're going to start this week. Name me one you're going to start at fantasy football this week.
This week, none.
So that's why I said any Ram.
Because
all gonna suck.
there's no bye week, so you won't have to play Allen Robinson or Cam Akers.
Yeah, they're all going to suck.
If I had to play one, it'd probably be Cam Akers, just because the Chiefs' run defense does have a tendency to give up some big pops here and there.
I mean, I can't think of a single Ram that I would start.
Oh, there's none that you would want to start.
Yeah, that's why I put any Ram there, because the only player that I would think about starting in Henderson, they cut today.
Yeah.
I think the Chiefs are going to win this by a very large margin.
By a million, say it with me.
Mahomes is going to be on the sidelines drinking mimosas at halftime.
Probably.
Man, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly early. Mahomes is my bust out player, simply because he's going to distribute the ball to anybody he wants to, whenever he wants to. And he only has to worry about one thing, and that's Aaron Donald sitting on his head a couple of times.
Yeah, if they're not doubling Donald every trip he makes, even to the bathroom, something's wrong here.
What's the 14.5 is the spread? Mm-hmm. Is that by halftime or the first quarter?
That's the game number. I haven't looked at halves or quarters yet. I don't get that bad. That dude been into the weeds.
Yeah, it's going to be ugly, and it's going to be ugly early.
Yeah.
Tom?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, the only reason this is so low in our previews is because it's a boat race. The Rams can't compete without Kupp and Stafford in Arrowhead. They just won't.
Can you imagine your first start in the NFL is going to be Arrowhead potentially for the...
So you're taking the Rams, I hear.
QB3?
For anybody, any backup quarterback, this is a bad option. Yeah, I'm taking the Chiefs.
Okay.
I'm going to make Pacheco my bust out, because I think they will be running the crap out of the ball in the second half. And the Rams can't stop the run either. And so I think he could have his breakout game of the season, 120-2, 150-2, something like that. My busted.
That makes Tobin cringe when you hear those numbers.
Here's one to think about. CEH got dinged. He's questionable. If they put him down for the week, do we see our first Ronald Jones sighting? Could he be the mop-up back that runs for 100 in the second half?
No.
You'll probably see him. He'll probably play for the first time.
Right.
The thing that I thought is, why aren't the Chiefs picking up either Melvin Gordon or, I think the Chiefs probably are putting claims in for Melvin Gordon and Darrell Henderson.
Well, they put claims in for they put one in for Eno Benjamin, but when you're number one seed in the AFC, those aren't getting to you.
Yeah, when you're the 31 in the waiver pick, you ain't getting nothing.
Yeah, I don't think they'll get him, but I think they'll put claims in.
I guarantee they will.
Yeah, my busted is, I'll go ahead and give my busted to the QB for whoever the QB is for the Rams.
Maybe the offensive coordinator. Can you imagine having to call that crap in? Because you got you got like one page of an NFL playbook that you can go with. No weapons, no bullets in the gun.
You got nothing.
I do not know how much Sean McVay got paid by the Rams, but I guarantee you he's a lot less happy that he didn't take the money from Amazon.
You think?
Okay. Next one on the list is the Bucs at the Browns, and that's me. This is one of those games that you look at and you go, do I have to pick it? And what's the spread?
Tampa 3.5, over under 43.
Yep. I'm taking the Browns just because I don't think the Bucs can score. Outdoors, cold.
Yeah, 48 degrees. That's not too bad.
It's cold for the Buccaneers. For you and I in the Browns, that's a ball day. You'll see people out there with their shirts off.
Brady played in New England for 20 years.
You're right. Brady did.
His most famous game is arguably the Snow Bowl.
That was 20 years ago.
30, wasn't it?
Close, but not quite.
I was watching it at Tanner's. That's how long ago.
Did they card you that at that point in time?
No.
I was in Minneapolis, Minnesota in a blizzard.
Wow.
Watching that game at a neurology seminar. Talking to my wife on the phone and going, oh God, I'm not sure I'm going to be out of here tomorrow. And by the way, if I remember correctly, it was my birthday too.
Wow.
So I'm taking the Browns.
All the way to the Super Bowl.
No, they're not going to make the playoffs.
Oh.
They are
One of these days, that's going to come true. We're taking the Browns to the Super Bowl, baby.
Once they win the AFC Championship game and they actually land in where the game is at, then I'll take the Browns to the
Does
Super Bowl.
Kosar have a kid coming up? Maybe we could get in there.
Watson's going to be there in 2 weeks. My bust out is going to be who? Nick Chubb.
My surprise.
Yeah.
Just because I don't think the Bucks can stop the run very well.
I disagree with you there.
They've done a good, outside, bad field. That's the other thing. We're playing on a bad field. Unlike Tampa Bay, which grows grass, they can't grow it in Cleveland unless they're smoking it. My busted going to be Leonard Fournette. I don't think he's got old, got fat, got lazy. I don't know what it is, but he has not looked like Leonard Fournette of last year at this point in time. If you need a yard, I'll give it to Brady over Fournette any day of the week.
Nah, Rashad White's getting that now.
Mhm.
Tom,
Yeah, I do like the Bucks here.
you're taking the Bucks.
They have to have this game.
Why?
To
There's no other competition.
to get into the playoffs. I
There's
mean,
no competition in the NFC South.
yeah, there's enough. The Falcons are at least. I think Falcons are on top right now. Brady will do well here to Evans and Godwin to Julio. Rashad White is an excellent start here. I think they're going to run the ball a lot. I agree with you. Playoff Lenny is my bust. I do not like the way he is running the ball right now. He is not good.
He's lost 5 steps.
I do disagree with you that Nick Chubb is a bust out. I think he's going to be solid, but he's not going to put up his 120-2 like he has been previously. I'll say my bust out though is going to be Rashad White.
Gee, I almost had that written down before you said it. Tobin.
Bucks, not by a million, but I think they do enough to. I think they've got enough firepower on offense.
You both are forgetting one thing. There is maybe Brissett,
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I got the Bucks here. I think Godwin's going to bust loose here.
Again, has he done that for you yet?
He's been picking up momentum. I mean, he's getting,
He hasn't as of yet.
5-6 catches, 50-60 yards. I mean, he's a 10, 12, 15 point a week, and one of these days he's actually going to start getting them in the end zone.
Okay.
And then my bust is Brissett. I disagree with you, Doc. I almost put Chubb as the bust because that front seven is the strength of the Bucks defense, and I think on a muddy track, I think that actually just plays to their advantage as well. So, but I've got Brissett because I think they're gonna set it up so he's got to win it, and I don't think he's got what it takes to win it in the NFL.
Okay, Texans at the Dolphins.
Oh, this is Dolphins all the way. The two teams that had and almost had Deshaun face off, and Tyreek just scored. Oh, wait, the game hasn't started yet? Oh, well, he or Waddle will almost this fast. Those two, Jeff Wilson Jr., Mostert, as well as Tua, they're all must plays. If you have Pierce play him, the Dolphins can't stop the run, especially in our agents league that we're in where we get a few points for carries. He's going to have 25, 30 carries in this thing because he's about all they've got. There's some rumors they may not play Davis Mills. They may go to Kyle Allen. If that happens, I love Pierce even more.
They did that. I love the Dolphins defense even more.
Give me Tyreek, give me Waddle, give me Wilson. I mean,
Pick one.
You got to pick one. You can't pick a whole damn room.
I can't pick them all. I can't pick the Dolphins.
You can't do any Ram like somebody did over there.
Oh, okay.
I went back to the mind of the Rams quarterback.
All right.
Yeah, give me Tyreek. They have no answer for this guy. There's no chance they're going to stop him or slow him down. And my busted will be whoever plays quarterback for the Texans. I'm going to say Mills for now, but it may be Kyle Allen.
Okay, Tobin.
Yeah, I've got the Dolphins here. I mean,
I think it's unanimous.
I think this is the second biggest number of the week. They've got the Dolphins by 13, over under set at 46. Yeah, the Texans are fighting hard for that number 1 draft pick. We'll just say that. That would be why you put Kyle Allen in and sit Davis Mills, I think. My bust out, I literally have pick a receiver, any receiver, but I'm going to go Jalen Waddle. The problem here is this may get out of hand so much that it may turn into a running back game. But I'm going to go with Waddle. And then my busted's Cooks. I mean, he's checked out already. He wants out of there so bad. And if they're going to make a change at QB potentially, it's going to be even worse.
I don't think he even plays this week.
Yeah, I mean, Dolphins D, if you've got them, you have to play them this week.
Okay, I too am taking the Dolphins. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Somebody's got to throw the ball, those offensive weapons that they have in Miami. I'm going to take Tua. I think Tua is going to probably throw for 400 yards and at least 3 touchdowns and probably run one in himself. No, he won't run one. He's not fast enough. Never mind. So Tua is my busted. My bust out. My busted is Collins, the wide receiver who actually play in the game, Nico Collins. I like Nico's future. I think he's got a very, very bright future. I think that the Houston Texans, I like Davis Mills as a quarterback.
Collins' future might be bright only if he gets out of Houston.
I like Collins as a wide receiver. I like Pierce as a running back. They've got the left tackle in Tuney, not Tuney, Tunsil. They get the first pick in the draft. I don't think they take a quarterback. I think they change that thing to change. They can pick up 7 or 8 draft choices and 1 or 2 players out of it.
Oh, yeah.
In a combination thereof. And keep Mills there for what he can do with people around. Because if Mills sucks, if he's truly not the answer, they'll be in position to draft a quarterback next year as well.
Yeah, they're not a quarterback away.
No, they're not. They are multiple players away, which I would trade them. If I was them, we'll talk about more in the offseason. I would trade that pick away and solve the offensive line problem and get 2 or 3 pieces on defense over the next 2 years as well. Okay, the next game, Bears of the Jets. Tobin?
Wow. This one I struggle with. There's so much in play with Fields and his injury. Does he play? Does he not? That's the drawback to recording on a Tuesday is none of that's taken shape yet. I'm going to go with the assumption that he's not going to play. Just anytime you're talking dislocation on a QB shoulder, that's never good. So
even if it's his non-throwing,
doesn't matter. I mean, it's all part of it.
That's the balance arm. That's the mechanics arm. Yeah. That's all that stuff.
And he's going to be guarding the hell out of it. First hit he takes, whoo, baby, shoot him up. But I've got the Jets, Jets, Jets. I'm going to go with Robinson as the bust out here. I really struggle to find a bust out here. Busted. I'm going to go Bears QB1, assuming Fields doesn't play.
And you get the Trevor Siemian experience.
Yes. Yeah, we saw how that worked out.
Yeah. Well,
how's that guy still have a job?
Oof. I too am taking the Jets, but I think, this might be a field goal and a safety game. First 1 to 5 points wins.
Yeah, maybe.
Man, the Jets just don't have that spark that they had early during the season. That aura they had, like we can score, we can do anything we want to, is gone. There's nobody there that provides that offensive spark to them. Bears pretty much the same way without Fields being healthy. I had Fields down as my bust out. My busted, I'm sorry, not my bust out. I'm going to change that because I don't think he's going to play, to the Bears quarterback, whoever it may be. And if he does play, man, he's going to take, let's be real, the Jets are going to be targeting that shoulder. He's going to take 2 or 3 hits on it and go, I'm not sure this is worth it. And the coach is going to say this. Not
well,
sure
he won't feel it because if he plays, he's going to be so hopped up on painkillers over there. He's not going to feel that arm anyway.
He's going to feel it just because he's going to take that many hits in it.
Yeah.
My bust out is going to be the Jets defense. I think the Jets defense is probably going to score double-digit points.
Sauce is real.
Yep, Sauce takes half the defensive field away offensively.
And the defensive front's been finding a way to get to the quarterback more and more as the season's gone on. So
the Jets don't have a problem on defense; they have a problem on offense scoring the ball, not stopping you from scoring. So, Tom?
Yeah, this is low on this list too because I am really afraid that Fields is hurt. It's not going to play. The other thing that complicates this is the non-committal to Zach Wilson being the starter at quarterback. I mean, if the MILF hunter's not out there, you're getting Mike White. If you're getting Mike White, they're going to throw the ball all over the field
to both teams.
Well, that's kind of why I like D-Rob, because I think D-Rob can catch the ball out of the backfield there.
Yeah, I mean, it could be Rob.
That's a big opportunity.
Either way, I think I'm going to take Garrett Wilson as my bust out. He lipped off a lot, and if he doesn't come out and back that up with some good play this week, he's going to lose a lot of cred. So I'm going to go with him as my bust out. I'm going to take the Jets. I agree with Doc. The defense is way too much for this Bears team, way overmatching them, especially in the Meadowlands. And then my busted, I'm going to bust the quarterback position. whether it's Fields
Which
or whether
team?
it's Simeon for the Bears.
Okay, or both.
Yes.
Yeah.
All QBs are hosed.
I should have doubled down on that one.
Gave you the chance. You didn't want to go there.
Yeah, but Fields or Simeon, because you're right. If Fields is this hurt,
Well, and why risk it? I mean, if there's question, they're not going anywhere this year. So why would you put your potential franchise, which he started to show that he might become?
The last 4
Yeah.
weeks, 3 weeks, he's been absolutely incredible.
I mean, he has been on that upward trajectory. You're 3-8. You're going nowhere. 1-5 on the road. Why in the hell would you put him out there in harm's way?
yep, no reason to.
And the last game of the week is Broncos at the Panthers.
Let's ride.
Oh my God.
Wow, that's interesting. My commode is now looping to the
That was
baby
about the
crying.
perfect
That's
combination.
perfect right there.
Watching it and watching that turd go down is going to be what we're going to be feeling watching this game.
That
I
was a
feel
new one.
better. It's
I'm
gone
gonna have to
away.
check that one out. We got technical bugs here, folks.
You know, I looked at this game and going, who the hell do you take? So I took the team that's at home, not the team traveling from the west to the east, which is traditionally a bad sign for teams doing that. I took the Panthers. I think that Burns is going to set on Wilson's head multiple times this game. Man. Now I understand why they didn't give 2 firsts up for that guy. He's a game changer there.
Oh, he's a beast.
Yeah,
The
two
Panthers-
or three teams at least offered 2 firsts for
The
him.
Panthers are only, by looking at what they have on defense offensively, they're only 1 or 2 players away from being good.
I
wonderful
wanted my
quarterback.
Chiefs to give them 2 firsts and Frank Clark, and we'll still pay Frank Clark's salary this year for Burns.
They
That's
still-
what I wanted
And
offered.
they still would have said no
I know.
because Frank Clark is, yeah, we'll see. My bust that's going to be Devonta Foreman. They found a real answer at running back with him. He looked great at Tennessee last year. He's looked great when given the chance in Carolina this year, which means I think Carolina is really legitimately only a quarterback and a skill position player to be a wide receiver or tight end away from being a contender in the NFC South, especially with the Bucks apparently going down next year.
So a contender away from being 500 is what you're saying?
Yeah, but 500 gets you in the playoffs in the NFL right now. My bust is going to be Russell Wilson until proven otherwise. I mean, is there more disappointing player in the NFL at this point in time than what Russell Wilson is?
Maybe.
I'm sure there is, but I don't know it right off the top of my head.
I look at this and I go, Zach Wilson.
I mean, is Russell Wilson more disappointing than Darren Waller?
Yes. But I told you Waller was a piece of shit going into the season. You didn't listen to me.
Maybe Kyle Pitts.
I am disappointed in Kyle Pitts. That's
a big
accurate.
one.
But then again, look at the quarterback.
Had to get that
business.
dig in for, his trade valuations.
It's
of
perfectly
Pitts.
okay.
It's not changing Doc's trade evaluation.
Wow.
So Tom, who you taking?
Well, this is Russ versus Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold has been announced as the starter.
Sounds like an even match.
This is a crap fest. I like Donta Foreman in this just like you do.
One.
I love Lat Murray. Lat Murray is going to be my bust out. My busted. I'm going to go Sam Darnold as my busted. This guy is terrible. Oh God, give me the Broncos.
Tobin.
I've got the Donkeys winning this one. I think it's going to be the turd in the punch bowl that it's made out to be. I mean, there's a reason the over-under on this is 35.
Oh God.
And I'm
That's too high.
seriously thinking
That's
about
way
taking the
too
under.
high. Unless
Yeah.
there's some pick sixes, that's way too
They've
high.
got the Donkeys by 2.5 and 35 is the over-under. I'm not sure I've ever seen a 35 in an NFL game. I've got the Broncos. Latavius Murray is going to get all the carries. He's an animal. This is going to be a running back battle. I mean, him and Foreman. That's about the only upside to this game. I had QB room for Carolina written down. Since Darnold's been announced, I'll make him my bust. It's going to be ugly. If this is your only game you get served, I feel really sorry for you.
If this is the only game you get served, you need to go to a sports bar where they have the NFL.
Or go to the dentist and have them drill without
Or
Novocaine.
just take a nap. Do
Yes.
something different. I mean, by looking at the season, there are 3 games this week that are just going to be ugly as hell to watch.
At least
yeah.
there's a lot of other options, hopefully.
Yep. World Cup soccer.
Yeah. Can we put Derrick Henry and Tyreek Hill on our World Cup team, by the way?
No, I want to put David Robinson in his prime as our goalie and see what happens.
I'd take that. I'd take that.
Yeah,
And LeBron James is as the defender in front of him.
I mean, to really talk World Cup for a second, there's a reason that nobody else has football players that they're sending us. Nobody else has the big athletes that we have. I mean, if you put a couple of these football players, a DK Metcalf,
put basketball players on there.
yes, those two. I mean, DK Metcalf and Clay Thompson. Even I mean, these big, fast guys would destroy in soccer.
Yeah, the soccer is
because they would try to like foul them and bounce off. I mean, DK Metcalf, there's nobody that's even close to his size.
I'm just saying Derrick Henry and just plow, go.
Yeah, here's the ball.
Go.
Yeah.
Ready, fire, aim.
You know, I fell in love with soccer when I was in chiropractic school when I worked the stadium there.
I'm sorry.
I have not been cursed by loving it ever since.
This explains a lot.
But man, can you imagine if that was our first choice for our athletes to play? What kind of world we should never lose a World Cup.
Yeah, well,
if it was our first choice rather than our third or fourth choice.
I mean, by the same token, Tyreek, Christian Watson. I mean, Christian Watson's 6'5" and he runs a 4.37. I guarantee he's faster than 80% of the people in soccer.
I'll take Lionel Messi in a foot race against him, dribbling the soccer ball.
Dribbling the soccer ball, yes. Pure ass speed, not close.
I'll still take Lionel Messi.
No.
Okay, so what we're going to do, Tobin, you and I have 6 games different this week.
Oh, it's on. It's on.
You and Tommy I have 5 games different than Tommy. You have 2 games different than Tommy.
So me and Tommy are the smart ones in the group is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying at all.
So breakfast on this one, you and me, Doc, and our 6-game separation there?
Next Tuesday morning?
I think I can make that work.
Yep, and you're more than welcome to come join us too.
Right on.
We can invite listeners.
Yep, we can. We'll be at Riverside Cafe in Derby about 7 a.m.
That would be fun. I don't know if my clock has that time. Hold on. What did I just get myself into here?
Okay, for you listeners, come join us. Tuesday morning, 7 a.m., Riverside Cafe in Derby.
First one that sends us a Facebook message with your name on this in the comments, I'll buy your breakfast that morning.
And the second one that does, I'll buy their breakfast as well.
There we go. Let's see what happens.
Okay, everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. Be safe.
Eat a lot of freaking pie.
Have fun. Be relaxed. Watch lots of football.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Peace out.